Welcome one last time to my draft feature of my iPod draft deck that won me an iPod. This is the final deck list spread out by cost. So let's get started with the one drop, with the sole one drop in the deck, which is Azure Magus. And it's not always a good idea to play him on 1 because his ability can't kick in on turn 1. So you want to save him for later most of the times to give one of your big guys ferocity due to his effect. There's one of the best abilities that can do that, which is Blightbringers. You don't play that on 1 either. You use it in the mid game around turn 4 or 5 or maybe even 3 if you have to. And I did it once, playing it on 3. I had the Protector, the good Protector, my best 2-drop in my opinion, Corlix Grimvic. On turn 2, my opponent was extremely aggressive, playing a 1-2-1 Garrett Weiss with Aberration, playing Lorium Argus on turn 2 with 2-3-2 and Stealth. I played on my turn 3, I played Azure Magus, followed up with Blightbringers, so all his guys have 0 attack. I can attack with Corlix into whatever I want and he stays on the field. I can attack with him because he just gained ferocity due to his own ability with the other guy, and I just wiped his field on turn 3. He lost 2 cards, I lost 1 card. I got a field, he doesn't have a field. That was almost game in turn 3 already. So Blightbringer is extremely strong card, especially in the mid game to late game. We got 2 Death Strikes, the only ability removal, not ability removal, but the only removal in ability form in my deck pretty much. Direct removal if you don't count the Blightbringers, because you always need some guys on the fields for that. You don't for that, so that's a direct removal. The other 2 drops, we got twice the Corlix, we got a 2-3-2 vanilla drop, and we got Ruby Flameblade, which is good because she can give us some more reach in a way, give our guys the ability to trade higher cost allies because they get a soul 1. Alright, but this is all not too exciting to be honest, just the Corlix is really good because we get to see some more turns. He can give us some more late game or make us reach the late game, where this guy really shines. Emerald Tree Warden, like I said, my opinion, probably the best 3-drop and one of the most important ones, because you need to draw that extra cards, and he allows you to draw extra cards for free by stashing something. So everything that says stash just becomes immediately a lot better than before, and some of the quests can also be triggered like I explained earlier. Challenge to the Black Flight with Dragon Keen, 1 left the field, 1 hit the field. When you got him on the field, you can draw 3 cards for 2 resources. That's just amazing. Speaking of stash, let's just move on right here, which is Lena Narville. She can be stashed to heal 2 damage from an ally. I did that in 1 game. I had Azure Captain on the field next turn, which is turn 6. Very likely that you bring him out turn 6, by turn 6. So I attacked with Azure Captain into something, traded it. He stayed on the field. I stashed, I played Emerald Tree Warden first. Then I stashed her, healed the 2 damage from Azure Captain, so he's standing there like he never got a scratch. I get to draw an extra card because of Emerald Tree Warden, and I just have another guy on the field, added another guy to the field, and applied some more pressure to my opponent. It's extremely good card. Then we got Freck Sniplix, which gives 1 guy long range, like another trick in the deck that your opponent doesn't necessarily see coming. Guardian Steelhoof, the Protector, and Azure Emissary, which is basically a vanilla drop 3/3/3, but good because of this card, Crown of the Chelonian Freedom. Sometimes Azure Emissary will stick around, then you can play it. It enters play with 3+1 counters, so you can prevent 4 damage on any non-Horde, non-Alliance ally in your deck, which are Gargoyle, the best guy, simply the best guy in my deck. Together with Timrith the Enforcer. Like I said, 4/5/5 ferocity, can trade everything on the field. If it doesn't die, one of my opponents played Malfurion Storm, whatever. I hammered Gargoyle into it, so he was still in the field, and then we brought out Tim Riff, which is also by turn 8. Possible by turn 8 because they are both 4-drops, obviously. And you can destroy all opposing allies with damage on them. The other 4-drop is Sierra Sunforge, which is a 2/6 protector, and then we get another Dragonkin, which isn't too spicy and too amazing and too great, but it's a Dragonkin, and for that reason it works well with the Crone. Let's go back a little bit to my other 3-drops. This is not necessarily a 3-drop, the Poison Fire Greatsword, but it's well, possible to play it in 4 because of my hero. My hero was Sin Soul, and he can be flipped for 2, and then you pay 1 less to strike with weapons. I think you can't read that because the camera is too crappy, but that means if you don't have a turn 2 play, which isn't very likely with 4 of those guys, you can flip your hero and then by turn 4 play the weapon and attack immediately because it only costs 1 to strike. That is very strong, especially if you have another guy on the field, because you can exhaust him and give the weapon +2 attack, so you strike with 4 damage. The Polished Breastplate of Valor turned out to be extremely good in this deck because it can add more +1 counters to another armor or to itself, which means that the Crone gets even beefier, and it's possible to prevent even more damage of my neutral allies, which puts them way over the top. It's expensive, but it's still possible. Sometimes it works, and it can be stashed too, even if it doesn't do anything. That's not extremely well, it's not too bad. You can add a +1 counter to target weapon, so my weapon can get even bigger, and the Emerald Tree one will me draw another card, so that's okay too. Right, then 5-drops, and I don't have a 6-drop, as you can see. I don't need them because I just play all those guys, the Dragonkin, or my best 5-drop, Karasok Plixboom. As you can see in this deck, it is very likely that he can go online because we got some protectors in the early game. We got Guardian Steelhoof, another beefy protector. We got Sierra Sunforge, another beefy protector. We got Gargoyle that can trade everything that is on the field up to that point. Then we might be able to bring out the Crone and make sure that all our guys always stay on the field, and then he's like the guy that seals the deal. You bring him out, your opponent doesn't have a field or has very little field. You can protect and make sure that he stays until gets to see another turn, and then he can really start, well, pulling some dirty tricks with long range and trading the opponent's field for free basically. There's almost nothing your opponent can do to stop him, well, save playing an ability on him, but then all your other guys, which are pretty beefy and good and strong, tend to stick around. So this is pretty much my final deck list with, as you can see, 5 quests, 4 of them draw cards. This can be stashed. With Emerald Tree Warden, you have enough draw, you just have to draw Emerald Tree Warden basically. We got like I said, we got 2 good spoilers, which are Timriff and Gargoyle, and maybe the weapon. The weapon is also very strong. We got nice combo stuff with the Crone of Chelonian Freedom, because together with all those neutral allies, it can really put your deck over the top and generate so much card advantage that your opponent has no way to win the game, pretty much. The side deck, or the choices for the side deck, are Command of Undeath, which is an equipment removal if you need it. A Sewer Drake isn't that strong in my opinion because I don't play enough abilities, but if somebody's going really aggro on you, you can play him or side him in and have some more early game. Then this is a crappy removal, but better than nothing. In case you have to destroy an ability, you can always use one of the Crones because you could play them twice. Mana Light Sky used to be good, extremely good, but with 2 boosters of elements, her nature resistance doesn't really matter that much anymore, and she's below the curve with 4/3/4, and my 4-drops are just way too strong. They are all very good. This is always a good protector with 4/2/6, no matter what type of damage opposing allies are dealing. And this guy, well, he isn't that good to be honest, but he's a Dragonkin and therefore works very well with the Crone. Those 2 guys didn't make the cut. They're good because they are both elusive, but elusive is extremely good in my opinion when you try to go aggro on your opponent, and I don't really try to do that. If I come out strong and play all my cards early on, I would have lost the game. I got lucky once. because I just drew into the nuts and had Gargoyle and had the weapon and had Timriff. So in that case, it doesn't really matter what your opponent is doing, you can always win the game anyway. But normally you don't go that aggro, so you can set up your big plays, which is the Crone, together with all the neutral allies. But as you can tell, I keep repeating myself because there's like not that much to the deck. It establishes a little bit of early game, sets up a big combo, clears the field for Karasok, and then just generates more and more card advantage because you can prevent all the damage on your big guys and clear the opposing field. But it worked really well. I went 3-0. I lost one game. That was when my opponent started it, and I didn't really have that much defense. Didn't draw into Death Strike to heal down. But still, it was close. I could have turned the tables on that match. I was like 5 cards ahead, but the tempo. This format used to be all about tempo with World Breaker only. With Dwarfed Elements, it's a little bit more about card advantage again. So I think this deck is like the right choice, a very good choice for this format. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment in either the thread on Daily Metagame or on YouTube directly. I will certainly tune in and see what you had to say about the deck. Extremely looking forward to your feedback, especially regarding Emerald Tree 1, because I think it's such a good card and others don't. And do you think I just got lucky because of Gargoyle, or do you think, well, you obviously had a draft plan, or you just made a plan as you went along, and so on. I'm really looking forward to your feedback, and let me know what you think. If you want to see more videos, let us know as well, because I'm certainly interested in doing them and running down drafts with you. Bye bye guys.